Hello, I'm Maria Ingold. I'm a technical and strategic consultant in video on demand. I've been running my company Miriality for the last almost 3 years, and I've been working in visual technology for almost 25 years now. So this year I went to CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and looked at a lot of the different trends that are happening. So they have everything from TVs to Oculus Rift to smart cars that are happening, and things like wearable tech. So this year I was really focusing on wearable tech, and wearable tech is pervasive across everything. So there are a number of trends that are happening in wearable technology, and that ranges in everything from 3D printing, which is another one of the amazing things that's happening now, to allow you to 3D print dresses. So you can draw a design and you can sketch it out. So you don't even need to 3D model it anymore. You apply a pattern to it. That pattern gives you the little join points for where the dress would flex. And then you use laser sintering, which is a 3D printing technique, to create the fabric. So you can now really quickly create something in clothing that you couldn't create before, and that's going to be a whole range of innovation. So that's real wearable technology. The other thing I've been seeing is, and this is where it gets even more real wearable, is prosthetics. And for that I mean people who've lost a limb, for example, or lost a hand, and at the moment it costs $50,000 to get a prosthetic limb. And that will have maybe a little bit of a sensor so that you can open and close your hand and do some movements. But it has no biofeedback on it. What's happening now is Open Bionics is actually allowing you to 3D print prosthetics for $1,000. So something entirely accessible for a whole bunch of people. It has the same ability to have sensors attached so you can actually move, and they're going to start putting on biometric feedback. But it's all open source. I saw this wonderful one that was, this girl was all dressed in white, and she had a white prosthetic arm which had crystals all down it, and it was designed to match, what she was wearing, and to allow her to express part of her own creativity as well. So that's a really exciting part of wearable technology. But it goes beyond that. I mean, there's obviously all the smartwatches that we have now, and what's neat about that is there's smartwatches, and some of them, I have to say, I wouldn't wear them. They're huge, right? So they're like this, and they're big and they're black, and I might wear them. No, they're too big. They wouldn't even wear them. But you might wear something like that to the gym or something like that. But they're starting to take the trend in the other direction. So they're starting to say, let's start, instead of making smartwatches, let's make analog watches smart. So that's a really neat innovation for how things are going forwards. The other thing that I've seen happening is, of course, around fitness. Everybody knows, you've got all these different bands that track how much you've walked, all of, health monitoring, all of these different things. The problem is, again, if you look at the bracelet I'm wearing, I'm not going to wear this black plastic thing on a regular basis. So places like Fitbit are now doing some exciting things where they're saying, let's take the technology and let's put that into a different thing. So black plastic for the gym, something silver or gold for going out, and there's that level of innovation that's now starting to happen as well. The other thing I've seen is tracker technology, so you can track your pets, which is great, and track your children, which is a little bit interesting and debatable, but is great for things for school trips, for example, if you're trying to keep track of a whole bunch of people. And that can also be part of fitness monitoring. And then the final thing I saw, which was really exciting, was wearable technology related to cars. So the BMW i3, you can use your smartwatch and say, come to me. And this only works in certain things where you need to have walls at a certain height so it can do some distance sensors. But it will come and valet itself out of your parking garage and come to you through controlling on your smartwatch. So there's a lot of neat things happening around wearable technology right now. So flexible OLED is a flexible form of organic light-emitting diode. And organic light-emitting diode is a screen, but instead of having all these layers of stuff that we have now to create, to be able to see moving images on a screen, it's just flexible organic material. It's organic material pressed between two pieces of something flexible, so you can get it very thin. And when you start playing with the plastics, you can get something that bends, so you can see curved screens. But you can also start seeing rollable screens, and that has great applications. Samsung is already putting it into phones, so it's curving around some of the edges, for example, of a phone. But you can also start seeing things like that being used in fashion. In wearable clothing, for example, you could actually change the texture of that. And what I would actually really love to see is a wall-sized television screen that rolls out of my ceiling, and then it rolls back up so I can have my lovely fireplace, but I want to watch something, or my partner wants to watch sport or something like that. We can watch it big, but it then goes away and I get my lovely fireplace back. So there's a lot of crossover in the technology. I'm trying to think about when I've been completely stunned, because I'm not usually stunned because I see things. I've been seeing wearable technology grow over time. So I remember being at the SIGGRAPH conference, 15 years ago, and MIT was demonstrating these little black glasses with a little prism on it, and they could display onto the glasses so that you could see in 640 by 480 back then the visuals on your glasses. That's the predecessor for Google Glass. That's 15 years ago. So when we came out with Google Glass, I wasn't that excited. Not excited, but I wasn't thinking this is completely different, because I'd seen it before. I'd seen it evolve. So when you're part of the industry, what you see is an evolution of things. And part of what I do is look at what's possible with that evolution and what's possible with combining all of those different pieces of the puzzle. So there's things that I like. So I like things like I saw a ring by Covert Designs, and that's Covert with a K. And they have this lovely ring, and it looks sort of black stone, chunky, silver material, and it feels great. It's the perfect weight. Inside that black stone is the technology, and you can take that black stone and you can put it into a bracelet, a necklace. You can upgrade your tech without having to pay extra for the silver ring, a gold ring, a platinum ring, all that kind of stuff. So when I was wearing that Covert ring, one of the things about that was that I had this sense of comfort, because it would vibrate when somebody who was important to me with an important message was trying to get through. And I was waiting and sort of attached to it for it to do that. And I think that there becomes a sort of a dependency like that on the technology, that we feel comforted somehow by having it. But we also want it to be, like I said, something that represents who we are. So I think when we start hitting those tipping points, that's when we'll start seeing it used more. The other side of it is there's things like TV shows. So there's a great TV show at the moment called Extant, and the Extant turns into Extinct. And what that is, it's a show about potential aliens and things like that, but it's set in the near future. And it shows smart home technology. So it shows a mirror in the bathroom, for example, and it can display things that you would normally have on your tablet. So information about your day, information about the weather, whatnot. Or then you can flip it back to a mirror. If you get a phone call, you can get a video phone call that can be displayed. And it's nicely integrated into the show. There's nothing you think about it being unusual. The same thing in the show, they've got prosthetic wearables and technology like that. And there's nothing unusual about it. It just fits into their daily lives. We see how it fits neatly into their daily lives. And I think that TV and film can be a very strong part in swaying people. As they see it as something that we can naturally use, it becomes used naturally. So I think some of the problems right now about hitting a wider market with wearable technology is that a lot of this tech is designed by men for men. And that's usually men of a certain type. So if you, maybe the geeky type. So if you want something that is maybe has that functionality but is represented differently, a lot of these companies aren't targeting that particular market. So they're not designing tech for women, for example. They're not designing tech for men who have a certain aesthetic taste. So what a lot of, and things like Intel's Mica, which is gorgeous, doesn't allow you to upgrade it. So you've spent all this money buying something that's very pretty, but you can't change the chip. So it's about that flexibility for how you use that technology, integration into a lifestyle component that you want to have. And on the side of the creators, it's about looking at that because that allows you to monetize a much greater market than just singularly targeting a specific aesthetic. You can take that technology, and I mean this is more than just having a different watch band, because everybody goes, but you can have a different watch band. And it's more than that. We all have individual tastes, and it's about learning to cater for that. That's why I think that one way to achieve this as well is to take our analog world, our analog watches, our existing jewelry, our existing things that we're interested in, and make them smart, make them wearable tech, rather than necessarily always approaching it from the other direction. So I think this is a two-way street. So one of the things that I'm seeing, and this is more than just wearable tech, it's about everything, and I call it connected life. So one of the things I want to help companies with and help them position themselves, because there's a tipping point here, and this is the next area of potential. And a lot of companies don't get this and aren't taking the right action strategically. And connected life is about where we combine things like audio and video technology that we have now with connectivity so that we can receive that technology wherever we are, with sustainability because we're shifting the way that we think as a world, and we're more conscious about how our technology affects the environment and how we use that technology to do good for the environment. The other sides of that include the emerging technologies, and smart home technology and wearables. So connected life is connectivity, sustainability, audio, video, and emerging tech such as smart home and wearables. Holistically, that shift allows companies to put themselves at the center of the customer's life. For the customer, it allows us to not just do what we want to do at home on our technology, but to take that life with us wherever we go. So our home is not just somewhere that's bricks and mortar. As they say, the home is where the heart is. And that's the connected life you take with you.